Welcome everybody who's tuning in after the fact. The December live stream, not live stream, December hangout. So yeah. So Hannah, you were talking about your comic you're working on. So is that going to be you're going to try to get a book done by 2020 by the end, or like an issue, or what's your goals with that? Are you locked up? It looks like
Froze.
now that we go live, it's just everything's failing. It looks like you're just not sure if you want to answer my question or not. All right, anyone else? How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
That
was comedy. I asked you a question and it just looked like you're like uninterested in answering.
Peace out, bye.
Yeah. So what's your goal with that comic, Hannah? For 2020?
I'd like to get it finished by the end of 2021 because I feel like that's a realistic goal on top of, working full time and everything else that I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's a long enough period of time that I think I can get it done. The story is panning out to be a little bit over 200 pages that I'll have to work on. Maybe more than that, depending on how much time I want to spend on this as opposed to other potential future projects.
Yeah.
But, if I can get...
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, yep.
I'll mute him. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, if I can get it done by the end of 2020, of course, part of it does depend on, I haven't decided if I want to try to self-publish it or if I want to try to pitch it to publishers. So my current plan is to stick it up on Webtoons for at least the first few chapters and then try to use that to pitch it to places like Image Comics and see if I can get it picked up. And if I can't, then I'll use what I have on Webtoons to try to start some kind of a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
Any of those things would change the timeline for it as well. But
are you going to be working on it full time? Like, are you juggling freelance and working on it, or have you saved up money to just full blast?
I work full time as a graphic designer, so that definitely helps. And I have set my schedule so that I can come home and basically just work on my comic from then on.
Cool.
Of course, with time in there for socializing and not going completely insane.
Social?
We're going to try.
You mean being on your phone, right?
I have real friends, guys, okay?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my friends are other creative workaholics of various types.
Yeah. Right. It's like we're your only friends now. It's like
I look forward to seeing what you do. So if anyone's watching, Hannah has her own YouTube channel too. So subscribe to it if you haven't heard of it. Was it Studio Hannah?
Yes, YouTube? Studio Hannah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and you'll probably show your progress as you're going on the channel.
I'd like to. The channel, I want to start doing more arts education this coming up here. I'm not very much of an editor. It's something that I can do, but I'd rather do drawing and writing than editing. So I'm hiring my sister, who is actually a very good editor, to work on my videos for me. So I'm hoping that will help kind of ramp up more of the production of that. But I have a theory. I have an art education theory that I want to turn into a curriculum on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Well, welcome, Steve, and welcome, Zach. I didn't say hi to you guys.
What's up, Jason?
What's up? I'm glad you suggested the weekend, Steve.
Yes, please, God. I have a 9 to 5, and I miss every time you pop on. My phone pops open, and I'm like, "Damn it!" My boss is right over me, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Nothing." But I'm glad you did it on the weekend. I shuffled the family out. I've been telling them since this morning, get up at 9 o'clock. Let's do what we got to do. It's 7 o'clock here, and I'm like, let's go. Everybody out. Get out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure last stream I was at work and I was like hiding in the corner on my phone.
I can't do that. I cannot do that at all. I wish I could, but I can't.
Yeah, I was going to try the same thing. Yeah. Like I was going to be at work and just take a 15-minute break and I'll be out there.
Yeah, for an hour and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got lost on the way to the bathroom or something.
Exactly. They're like, where is he? But no, I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited because, like everybody else, we're all creators. And Jason, thanks for the update on the book, man. Yeah. Anybody else cry when they saw that video? Or is it just me? I cried. I cried. I was like,
I was watching that. Okay, so I watched Jason's video, and then at the same time, the same day, didn't Tenaple come out with his video? And it was like the polar opposite.
Oh.
What happened? It was like success, and then the other one was just like problem. It was just like I don't know. Anyway, so
I was just waiting for the text from Doug, like, I told you should have used my printer.
I thought he was gonna like. I'm like, okay, now there's gonna be a whole new chat, another hour chat, hour and a half long chat. How he's trying to get you to use his printer.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I already got quotes from them. They came in about 10,000 less than what I got quotes from my guys, and I think it's just because I was trying to get them to imitate exactly what I had already started. If I wasn't getting them to imitate something, then I probably could get a really good price out of them. And so I think for Phobos and even for my children's book that I'm working on, I'm planning on using his printer because I could fly there and actually watch them and help and work with them when you're printing it, and then they could even ship it from a place that's like an hour away. So there's just a lot
do they store it for you, Jason, or do they ship it to you?
Well,
that's the problem I'm having, because I live in an apartment and I can't store all those books in here. So I need some place where they're going to store it and ship it for me and fulfill my order.
I think
they will do both. So my quote was for them to ship it to me because I knew I needed to fulfill it with all my old books.
Right.
But, when I launched Phobos as a Kickstarter or the children's books, it's a standalone. And so I'm planning on just having them fulfill it and then shipping me the excess. And so that's the plan going forward. So I really want to try that. I really want to try printing in the States and not have to worry about the international type.
No, it makes perfect sense. With whoever you're gonna use, please let me know, because this is book number 1 for me, and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I still really strongly recommend my printer. They like bent over backwards to try to please me once that mess up happened, and just, it makes sense. It's like they're a print broker, so they're not the printer, but they do all the communication with printers in China and overseas, and so they get the best prices and they work with a lot of printers. And so what happens is, someone messed up and then they delivered it wrong and they weren't aware of it until I notified them and said, hey, it's screwed up. And they're like, what? And so they're really mad. So they contacted the printer and then the printer was like, I'm sorry. And I don't know what happened, but they're like, we'll do anything we can to make this right,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I actually just got Doug's book yesterday, maybe the day before. Yeah. And I was almost more impressed with like the box that came in than like, I mean, it's beautiful. The book's beautiful. All the perks are great and everything, but the box, whoever he did his distribution through or whatever, it's like an Earthworm Jim themed box. Yeah. So like, I don't even want to pull the book out of the box it came in because it's like a set,
Yeah.
So whoever he used, I was really impressed.
That's how you're going to put it on your shelf. That's good. It's like, keep it in the box.
The whole box.
Yeah, I still have his box sitting over
there. It's incredible.
Really throw it away yet.
Even like, because I didn't notice at first, I just opened it and my wife was in the room and she's like, that box is awesome. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I thought she meant like the stuff in it. And then I looked at the box. I'm like, oh, this is actually a really cool box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Presentation is everything, but it's amazing. As far as, Hannah, you said you had a YouTube channel and stuff, but how do you? I started one and I was like, it's taken away from my book. I was like, I can't keep doing this. I was just like Jason, and it wasn't bringing me any new people, So I was like, forget it. I was like, I got other things I got to do, man.
It takes time to build that channel. I still don't know.
But
I will say I didn't
editing and doing all that stuff.
I didn't start the channel with the goal of like being a YouTuber, so I
Right.
don't expect very much from it, and that means that I don't. It shouldn't expect very much from me. I try to make a video a month if I can.
Okay.
And that's not going to give me any significant growth on YouTube, but I stepped away from this year accidentally. I started it to make art education content, and then I just sort of started being like, oh, I made a blog, and it's kind of tangentially related to art because I'm an artist, so it's okay, it's fine. And I realized kind of recently I went to a convention, and there was a kid who's probably 12, 13 years old, and I don't remember if he had already been following my channel and just came up to me to say, hey, I know who you are, I follow your channel, or if he saw that I had a channel and then looked me up. But the second day of the convention, he came up to me and he was like, I really like your channel, but I think you should do more art education content because, I think you'd be really good at teaching art. And I went, you're right. That's what I wanted to do in the first place, and I didn't. So if 2020 is a little bit of a test year for me. I'm going to be posting a video a month, and I have a very specific kind of teaching curriculum that I'm trying to sort of develop and put up on there. And if I succeed in just teaching a few people more about art and getting them excited about drawing, then that's really all I want with it. So it's less about managing a YouTube channel for me and more about using YouTube as a tool to put out some arts education, because that's just something that I want to create and show people. But like you said, the reason I don't want to be a YouTuber is because it would just take time away from the things that I actually want to do. I want to make graphic novels and children's books and write stories and things. I don't want to be a YouTuber, so it's a side thing.
No, I trust me. I know what you mean because I started it, and a couple of people were like, "Hey, where's your videos? You're funny." And I was like, "Yeah, it's nice and this, but it was. I have this much amount of time to do this book, and even though I'm up to 200 somewhat pages right now, people are like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it took me a year though to get to 200 something pages. So it's I get up in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I got like 1 hour to do it, then go to work, come home. Then when everybody's sleeping, I have another maybe an hour. And then on Fridays, I'm up 24 hours because I've been up since 5. I don't go to bed till 5, and I just work on the book, constantly work on it. So it's like the YouTube was just going to take away from it. So I was like, I got to pick my battles. I just got to pick my battles to decide what I'm doing. And Jason, back to that, not to hop around or anything, but back to your video. Your video was very inspiring because what you said at the end really inspired me, because you were like, even though this is a problem to have. Like I'm doing my own, I'm publishing it my own. This is me. And even though I got all these books and I have no idea what I'm going to do with them, this is my problem. And it's great. But to almost say that though, I did pick up one of these.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love this book.
You do? Good. Okay.
This book, I got, I'm a comic book head. I've been collecting since I was 6, and I got my friends getting these. I'm like, oh, you didn't get shapes? What are you, crazy? So, and now they're like, oh, yo, yeah, it's hot. I say, yeah, I know the artist. I'll get a sign one for you. Don't worry about it. So, it's a great, it's just inspiring. I keep like a lot of inspired stuff around me, and Jason, you've been since I met you on here on YouTube, and I'm so happy because you really inspired me, and to be able to walk into the store and see your book there, I was like, oh, that is just cool. That's you didn't do the signing yet, right?
I did, yeah. It was okay. It was so small town, like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah. No, I mean, I've been to New York I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn, and I went to New York Comic-Con this year, and I didn't go to none of the big dogs. I didn't go to Marvel. I didn't go to none of the DC panels. I went to people doing it like us. That's where I spent my money. And then the one of the best feelings in the world was I went to go see this young lady, and I have this book called Black Comics Return. It's a massive book. She did the cover and she signed it for me. And I was talking to some people and I was handing out my card, and I gave my card to a young lady, and she was like, "Oh, this is gorgeous. This is beautiful." She was like, "Can you sign it for me?" And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "This is gonna be epic." And that just blew me like completely away. Like that just made me go home and work 100 times harder. You know, so that feeling must be, I mean, on your level, when you meet people like myself or people that just buy your book in general,
it goes a long way. Yeah. In fact, one of the, like a crazy thing happened this week. This lady emailed me and was like, "Hey, it's my husband's 50th birthday. Can I fly him out and have him meet you for his birthday? And you draw him a card and all that stuff." I was like, "Sure," you know, and we worked out a price and everything. And she's like, yeah. And so, you know, they flew out here, and it was a total surprise. She told him he was going to an art museum, and he's like, "What?" He's walking through the parking lot. I'm watching, and he's just like, "What is this place? You know, you got ripped off." And then he stairs, and I'm like, "Hey," and he almost fainted on the stairs, and we had breakfast and together and hung out for 3 hours. And I mean, it was encouraging for him, but it was super encouraging for me, because I'm just like, I can't believe people would actually do this, you know, like come out.
It's amazing.
Present. So.
Absolutely. You got to understand that the people you don't even realize you touch. Like I walk into the comic book store and some random guy was like, "Yo, when you coming out with this book?" And I was like, "Who are you?" Yeah. And he was like, "Oh no, I follow you on Facebook. I follow you on Instagram. I just can't wait for this book, man. It just looks so great." And I was like, "Thanks." And he was like, "Yo, you want to take a picture?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool. We take a picture." And mind you, I have nothing out yet, but I promote very heavily like everything I do. Every time I go to a con, I go somewhere, like I wear my stuff. I talk about it. So people are always like coming up to me, and it's not a gangbuster of people, but it's the small amount of people that you touch that you just like, wow, like it's amazing. And I love your stuff. Like the quality of what you want to do with your books is amazing. Like I want to get to that level. Like I pull out your books and I show them to people, and I actually planning to buy a set for somebody, and because they were like, "Oh, these are amazing," and I want to buy it as a gift. And they just love they don't even collect comics. They just loved it as a book set, you know? So it definitely is a motivator.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Steve. I appreciate all that. Zach, we've been cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good.
You got it. It's your turn.
I was just talking about
Jay.
talking about Doug stuff. I do. I mean, there's a couple things with the YouTube channel. I think honestly, in terms of being able to still work, because I've thought about starting a YouTube channel and help trying to build an audience and stuff like that. And I have to get a setup because I don't have like a proper mic or anything like that. But I also and kind of the same as I don't want to take the time to like edit videos, and I know how to do it all, but I don't want to spend 3 hours of my day editing a bunch of videos. And I think honestly, we were talking about Doug earlier, the way he did his channel during Earthworm Jim campaign was great because it was just live streams and he was working on the comic the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the best bet if you were going to do a YouTube channel.
I think he's brilliant at doing that, but I don't know how I could do that.
I don't know if I can.
Draining just to work on something, let alone
talk to
live stream, let alone try to keep it energetic and manage people coming and going.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the personality.
I can do it. Yeah, I don't. That's what
I'm surprised.
I'm the kind of person who can sit in a party and be completely quiet.
Yeah,
not me.
It's like I don't need to talk to people.
I remember we did that. We were on the live stream for like 3 hours, I think, and I was talking to you and Doug, and then like it was I couldn't draw. I couldn't draw because I get because I'll like to talk and like get into the conversation, and there's no way I can draw and do that and think about what I was doing. And I remember I was trying to draw one time, even when we did another stream, I tried to draw and I couldn't do it. I kept putting my pen down. I kept doing, So
well, that was my problem with the virtual studio live streams is I'd get people on there and either I'd have to completely shut up and work,
right,
or I would work and I would just talk, and I couldn't do both, So that's kind of why I let it fizzle out. But I'll still try to do it randomly. But
yeah, Doug is like a beast. He'll
Doug seems like he's just an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like he would if you put him on camera, he would flourish in show business. Like,
yeah,
because he's just very much
he's great in pitch meetings. He's great. All that stuff where he's in front of people and communicating.
Like I could see him hosting SNL and it being fine because he's just that big personality, talks about all the time. And I don't know if I have that, but
I'm learning like to delegate things like to other people. Like I don't want to. I've been putting off making a website for so long that now I'm just paying someone to do it. Just what I mean, like, and then the video. If there's anything with editing, I'll pass it off to somebody else. I'll just pay them to do it. It's just delegation. I do not want to do it because I spend so much time drawing, like it's so much detail that I have. I don't want to do any of the videos and stuff. But But anyways.
Yeah, I think Hannah, what you said about YouTube is exactly the right perspective. You shouldn't want to be a YouTuber. Like we're really trying to be a comic artist or an art educator. YouTube is just kind of like this thing we can use. It's another tool we can use, just like a blog or whatever. But we're not a blogger. We're not a YouTuber. We're an artist first. And so I think a lot of people get those switched around because the YouTube thing seems like the easy fame getter, but it demands all your time and all your energy and all your thought. It's just, like I don't know what I'll do with YouTube going forward in 2020. I have some ideas, but I'm trying to, it will probably be a little bit more on the back burner, and I want to convert content to YouTube. So like the Unnatural Talent book, convert it to YouTube updates. Also convert Remind and Sithra to YouTube, a YouTube type format. And so people could eventually read all of Remind as a YouTube video,
Would you do that like dubbed or?
Like a motion comment?
I would. Well, with Remind, what's interesting is a friend of mine is ghost writing it as a novel. And I don't know exactly what we'll do with it exactly, but we've already had done 2 drafts of it. And I tried to just read it and record my voice and then edit the images over top of it, and it kind of works, And so it'd be like 5 hours of audio with all the images. And I like that idea because it's just another way to get it to a new audience that wouldn't make a comic store and pick it up, or they wouldn't, maybe a kid doesn't have $10 to spend online and order this comic he's never heard of, but he'll click on a YouTube video.
Well, I was going to say that Berserk, the manga, somebody did some sort of visual novel version of it, but they kind of went into it and animated a couple things. Like they have someone, have him walking, so they have each panel animated or something like that. I don't know if you're talking about going that crazy into it. No. Just going from panel to each panel and slowly moving, parallaxing or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
That'll probably be.
I don't want to do any of that stuff. I would like to do probably the closest example of what I'm talking about is I did a video for Scribbles as a motion comic, and I just did the first so many panels as a YouTube video to kind of pitch it to people, and I kind of narrated it because it's a wordless comic, and just pan from panel to panel as I was talking. And so I think that's kind of it, the extent of it. But I'll just read the novel and then pan to the panels and no animation, no sound effects.
That's pretty similar to what what's his name? Is it Comic Storian that does the read through?
The comic
where he actually shows the panels of the comic as he reads the dialogue,
he edits the bubbles out, and he reads it out.
And you wouldn't have to do that because you own the bubbles, but.
He's got like a million subscribers, over 1 million subscribers.
He does all the mainstream comic stuff, but he goes through and actually reads it and cuts through the panels as he's reading it and does all the voices and stuff like that. But,
right, yeah, he gets very dramatic with the voices. He was like, "Oh," and then he kills, and then but it works. It works.
It's sometimes it's a little corny, and you're like, okay, this is a Power Rangers book. Like, don't take it so seriously. But there's the way comics come out. Like a lot of times, I can't afford to go buy 40 books because they're $6 a pop or something. So it's like there's stories that's how I've heard them, is him reading them. Yeah.
I've seen a few mangas done that way, and it's like I just wouldn't go and pick up this volume of this thing, but someone edited it into a video and they kind of narrated it in their own way, and so I think that could be a really neat approach instead of me coming on and being this YouTube personality, No,
but it actually definitely would be great because I'm the opposite of Zach. Like I collect too much, so it's like sometimes I can't catch up to what I'm reading. Right.
I want to. My wife won't let me because money.
My wife don't know about half the stuff I'm getting.
Oh, okay. We were at a bookstore.
Another thing too is another friend of mine is making Sithra into a podcast, so they're actually getting voice
nice
and sound.
I want to be one.
I know. I'm sitting there just like.
But
me, pick me.
It's gonna be like a full-on audio presentation, and then
be like one of those worm things.
Yeah, you'll probably sound just like that. And so then he'll give it to me, and I'll actually edit the visuals to it. So it'll come out on his podcast, and then I'll also put it on my YouTube channel. So a couple things are like that is kind of what I'm thinking about. I'll still do the updates and the behind the scenes, but I just can't. I'm not going to do the Brew Crew thing, I don't think, and just a lot of stuff I'm going to take out. There's still going to be interviews randomly, but it's kind of just nothing will be on a schedule because again, it's all secondary,
I mean, it's all something that you tested out and then to see if it worked. If it doesn't work, you put it to the back burner. If it works, then you keep pushing it.
Yeah. And it works. It's just, again, it's I can't focus on the secondary product,
Right.
That sells a book is a new book, The best thing that sells old books are new books. So, I know I just need to get the next books done, If I just get the next books done, I can sell stuff. So.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up, sorry to jump in, but I'm probably not going to be able to stay on too crazy long. My brother, I think he got dumped, so he's coming over. So, but like you mentioned Berserk and how you looked at manga. I was at a bookstore today, and we were doing Christmas shopping and stuff, and we went in at a mall, and we went through the bookstore, and I looked for the graphic novels, and it was like a tiny little section next to the magazines had like graphic novels, like American comics graphic novels, and then I went over to the manga section, and it was 2 huge shelves. Mm-hmm. And I think crowdfunding comics, like the independent comics, is doing so well lately is because it's much closer to what the Japanese are doing, where you get a 150-page story for $10. And like it was insane the amount of like the Berserk, like you mentioned, they had like these $50 beautiful, like almost leather-bound books that I'm like, I'll be buying those. Mm-hmm. But then I looked at the graphic novel section for like 2 seconds, and I was like, no, this is, it's ridiculous. And I don't get why it's taken so long for comics to figure out that much like, building TVs and giant robots, like the Japanese are better at it. Like their system is amazing, and I don't get why we haven't adapted more of their qualities of.
We need to get back to the old paper. You don't need to have like some glossy, hard paper comic book. You don't need to have. You just need to have basic paper, make it cheaper so everybody can get it, and it's just So it needs to be sold everywhere again.
Yeah, well, that's what Alterna
as well.
Yeah, well, that's what Alterna is doing. I was actually just watching an interview with Peter Samedi about how they're starting distribution, soon.
Huh.
So and that was really interesting. Like the way his setup is for creators seems like it's awesome.
Yeah,
because it's really flexible. But
I ordered a couple of their books.
Yeah, another thing like the Japanese do, and I don't know if I've mentioned this on here before. I probably have, because it keeps me awake at night, because it's like the best system for comics is they have like their Shonen Jump and stuff like that, where you go spend $4 or $5 and it comes on crappy paper, newsprint, and there's bad printing in it and stuff like that. But you get like 20 stories.
Right.
And the whole point is you go get this book, little kids spend their allowance on it. They get the book. And then when the trade paperbacks come out, that's where you make the money, because they'll go buy the nice printed version for $10, $15. But they sell like comics in, I had a friend actually went to Japan and brought me back an actual like Japanese Shonen Jump. And she had to go to like 3 different stores to find them on Monday, because they sold out like that. Like by 11 o'clock in the morning, they were gone.
Wow.
She had to go to a Jump store.
Yeah, it's like it's. I remember seeing. I think it's like White Manga. Is it White Manga?
Yeah.
So he comes up with his own magazine and whatnot, and it's like his story along with the other stories. So it's like that. Like that's awesome. Just because that's the thing, is that you think that in the age of digital whatever, you think that paper or something like that would be gone, but it's not. It's never going to be gone.
Yeah.
The book, people still want the book. People still want the print. That's why I think that even like magazines, like even starting your own magazine and then doing that same thing where everybody sort of like let's say if all 6 of us here, we made our own stories. We have that, a chapter every month. It's like once a month the magazine comes out and people have a subscription or whatever, and they come out like that. It's just
that's
it's like there's very few. I don't know who else does that. You know what I mean? It's like that's something to do.
And I'm like, why are they not doing that? Because you still get the money because the whole point of the books is they're disposable. Like that's what alternatives do. Newsprint books, you're going to roll them up, toss them in the garbage when you're done reading them. They're not going to last. If it rains outside, the humidity is going to destroy it inside. Like they're low quality. But if you like the story, when it gets to 8, 10 volumes, you'll go buy.
Yeah, you'll go buy the story. You'll support
the graphic novel and keep it on your shelf, and it'll look nice. And
I think it's like people like they get in sort of despair mode where they think about, and it's all true, where they go, all the companies are sort of monopolizing on all these things, and they're going to try to bump you out or raise the price, or they're going to go after you and all that kind of stuff. And they're not going to let sort of the independent creators to sort of like get out there and do something. But I just say, just don't despair, just do it.
Yeah. If everyone just got together and started doing these, we're even the way crowdfunding is going, we're seeing that.
Yeah, I think also too, it's like the magazine starts depending on like also the leadership. It doesn't get sucked into and start making it look like it starts appealing to this sort of like the Hollywood type. Like, we want to start getting into TV shows. We want to start. No. Just stay local. Just stay just stay independent. Just stay that way. You don't have to get out there. And if something happens, it happens. But I think that's when it starts happening. When the money starts coming in, I think people start changing. But if it just stays the same, it stays local, stays small. I think that's always the success, and it'll grow because people want something different. I think right now more than ever it'll be like that. No one likes watching the a lot of the stuff that's like on Netflix, Hulu, or anything like that, or any of the books that are coming out because I go to the comic book shop. I have no idea I have no idea what to get. But most of the time, I know the story is probably just going to be really bad and full of politics. It's full of whatever. Nothing about these characters are going to be, nothing's going to be interesting or uplifting, and everything's either going to be so perfect that it's not going to. Anyways, but I was just saying that if you keep it local, keep it the same, and everybody's kind of bands together, and doesn't kneel, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just think the kind of anthology system they have is amazing, because if you want to look at some of the highest paid comic artists on the planet, you're going to look at Oda, who does One Piece. These guys, they make millions of dollars because they just put out this work in really cheap quality, and then people go buy the nice, and their stories are good. Like I think just independent comics is different because you tell whatever story you want. You don't have some company telling you that Spider-Man has to be this or whatever. But like I honestly barely read. If it's not an independent comic by like one of you guys or someone, I really don't read American comics anymore. I'm just like, I have zero interest in whatever.
Yeah, no, I went out and bought like a new manga series.
Yeah.
Like,
but those,
I know for sure that they're actually appealing to good story.
Yeah, because if the stories aren't good, they get canceled like really quick. They have the readers vote on who's good.
Right.
Interesting. Hey, you guys, let me cut you off and let's let Jay talk.
Yeah, I'm actually about to step out, so I will.
Okay.
All right, Zach.
It was good seeing you guys. Sorry I had to leave so quick. But
all right, no problem, brother. Take care.
Later.
All right, Jay, if you have anything you want to say, now's a good time. Oh, I can add this other guy right here.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Jay, you're still muted, so I can't hear you. I see your finger. You're making a very powerful statement, but no one can hear you.
I think he's saying, wait 1 second. I don't
I didn't
know.
want to unmute.
Oh, there we go.
I was going to say something. There's just
Oh,
a lot of noise.
Do you want to say, Jay?
But I'm sure everyone can hear me in all the noise, right?
I can hear you.
I just wanted to say something. So I don't know how long I'm going to be here either, but you can hear. Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
So I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I was thinking about the YouTube and I just thought I would say like how I found you, Jason, was I used to spend like, let's say 3.5 hours every day trying to learn art, and I counted going on YouTube as part of my learning art. Like, so I would go on like art YouTube videos or whatever, and the ones where you had the interview I really liked, so I kept on going through all the podcasts with interviews with different artists because I felt like there was stuff that inspired me or whatever. And I feel like there's still a lot of people who do that right now, and a lot of people who view on YouTube, they really have the idea that they're trying to teach themselves either art or they're trying to improve themselves in some other way. And so I think probably that might be a lot of people, I'm guessing, who are your fans who came to you through YouTube. And then another thing that I was thinking is
through the interviews with other artists.
You were talking about making those silly reading the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'm like really delayed. Anyways, I'm gonna just say what I was gonna say, because so I don't watch those things because I think they're really stupid. But there's one thing that I was watching a lot, and I think that I've only seen one YouTuber ever make it, and I would be really interested if somebody else would make it. If there's something called Naked. It's a YouTube channel. It sounds bad, but it's actually just somebody analyzing comics. So they go over different comics and they analyze them. I don't even think the guy who makes it is really like a pro comics maker, but it would be somebody who really did know, like, analyze some comics. You know, like he shows the comics and he analyzes them on the screen. I don't know if any of you have ever seen his YouTube. He made a magazine too. I forget what the magazine was called. It was called Panel X Panel. I used to be subscribed to it. I stopped for some reason. Anyways, it was really interesting, and I feel like people who have kind of an interest in making comics, and there's like 1 million of those people, and there keep on being more that are interested in it, would really be interested in YouTube videos that analyze comics.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I can see how it would work. Again, it's just like it would be a secondary thing on the side of what I'm trying to really do, you know? And so it'd be in this big pile of secondary things. And so because of that, I wouldn't be able to focus much time onto it. And so it probably wouldn't really go a lot of places, you know? So that's the only problem I have with that, because, you know, I mean, I get people asking me for my opinions on different things, you know. But man, it's just I don't want to be a commentator, you know. So, but I do realize that there would be an audience for that, you know.
Yeah, maybe
But
I
don't wanna
should
be-
make that if I ever get the equipment.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, especially if that's something that you're interested in seeing, you could definitely be that
Since
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, because it really does depend on it being something that I'm passionate about seeing before I actually want to spend the time making it. You know, I try to judge everything I do in that sense. Like if I'm making a comic, it's got to be the kind of comic I would want to buy. If I'm making videos, it's got to be the kind of videos I would want to see. You know,
Absolutely.
and otherwise I'm wasting my time, and I'm wasting my time with a lot of it anyway, even if it's something that I might want to see. It's just not my category. It's not my niche. There's so many other things I should be focused on. So yeah, but I mean, I think it's a great idea. It's just who's the right person to do it is the question, you know. Yeah. Well, welcome, Cecil. Wait, what? How do you say you love arts?
CC. Artistry, and I probably spelled it wrong, but I don't really care.
Nope, you're good. Spelling's
Very good.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm so excited to be on. I'm so nervous.
Oh, it's fine. You're blurred, so we can't see you.
Yeah, well, I like my privacy on these particular names that I go on. Like I'm sure if someone really tried, they could find like some kind of picture of me, but I try not to have my face that much. I like to be like a disembodied voice.
There you go. That's probably a smart move.
Sometimes I have a little like cartoon that I put up of me, but
yeah.
There you go.
But I couldn't do that because I'm not on my laptop. I'm on my phone. So
Found something. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't
Well, everyone's doing internet searches right now.
That was easy.
Oh, cool.
I have my computer in front of me, but
Is there anything you want to ask or bring to the conversation, Cece?
Oh gosh, wow! This is like. I never imagined this would be happening this weekend. If you would have told me Monday that this would have been happening, I would have been like, yeah, that's nice. I would have laughed in their face. So, well, let me just say that, Jason, you are one of my artistic heroes. And I mean that in the way that like I have a lot of artistic heroes. I have like let's see, what's his name? Leonardo da Vinci is an artistic hero. Van Gogh is an artistic hero. But I don't necessarily like the stuff that they make. I just think they're really good at art. But you are an artistic hero where I actually like the stuff that you make. And I'm like, hey, this is stuff I can really, really enjoy. And cool. I like where you come from morally a lot of the time, and I find a lot of the stuff you write really fascinating. I love Phobos. I think I'm getting that right. Yeah. Yeah. So
the more people I hear say that they love Phobos, the more it makes me go, okay, I just need to get this thing done. I need to work on this next.
Yeah.
Stop delaying it.
Yeah, you do need to.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've always wanted to make something that was a little like Phobos, like from a moral standpoint, and from going from that direction, like taking something that most Christians would think of like, oh, you're not supposed to touch that, and poke it and draw stuff about it.
Yeah. Well, I kind of abandoned it for a long time because I was just like, well, why am I doing this? And then I realized, oh wait, I know why I'm doing this. It's obvious, like how, yeah. So it really reinvigorated my energies and efforts to work on Phobos when I finally realized, that's just it. I need to embrace that thing that I was doing, like how would God fit into this picture of vampires and, all the, whatever, so. It's got a long before it really starts.
I can't wait to see how you bring in zombies to it.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
As it goes, there's a lot of stuff that's going to get thrown into it, but eventually zombies.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. You know, zombies are such a big deal right now that I don't really want it to be a zombie book. You know, so I'm focusing on the classic horror characters.
Yeah,
I guess
Wolfman's not in right now.
Whatever.
Zombies weren't really around until the 60s, were they?
Sorry?
Like the modern zombie wasn't around until like 60s. The Living Dead or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge horror person.
Yeah. I do. There is it's really far down the road for Phobos, but there is going to be a mob of disco zombies in it.
Nice.
Oh my.
Just to give away part of the story.
Yes.
Like there's a disco party at the castle.
You heard it here first.
The moat, because you know they all piss off Frank. They all get thrown into the moat, and then they come back as disco zombies.
Yes. Yes.
So, but that's way down the road.
Wow.
Fun. It's just fun for me.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, since I have you now listening to me, I was actually really inspired by one of your, I'm an artist too. I really would love to make comics one day, but that's just like, I don't have the discipline yet as an artist to do that. So I'm working on that. But one of the things you said in one of your Comic Gate thing you made up.
Oh yeah.
The video.
Okay. The one that everyone
Did everyone hate it? I don't remember. I remember reading the comics and being like, being too nice.
People are like, why did you pick your side? You're a fence sitter. And I'm like, man, I would rather sit on a fence than be a part of this mess. Anyway, go ahead.
That is true. But I was really inspired by what you said when it like, just go to your room and do what you want to do as far as art goes. Don't like feel like you need to like analyze the bejeebies out of all this crap that's going on out there, and just like make more art that you feel people should see.
Yeah.
And it really inspired me, and I was like, because I was trying to be kind of overwhelmed by everything, and that you were like, yeah, just chill out, everyone.
Well, that's what I kept seeing. It just felt it was really weird at that time, and it's still a little bit. But I've pulled myself away from it so much that I don't feel it as much anymore. But it just felt like the culture of comics online was very like heavy and just like so much like infighting that it just didn't feel fun. And I was like, why do indie comics not feel fun? You know, and it's because we're all just ripping each other apart and whining. So like stop and go to the room and just make
despair. It's like don't despair, don't whine, don't complain.
You can say all the things you want to say in your comic, and this is kind of the conclusion I've come to. Like the people who make these big deals online, their drama online and in real life, but their comics are boring. And then you want to flip it and be like boring in real life, and your comics are drama. Like put the drama into your comics. Like if you want to express opinions, put it into your comics. You know, don't. But it's a real letdown when, you know, it's like this crazy personalities are just it's another comic. You know, like it's. So I don't want to do that, you know, and that's why I've stopped doing a lot of the live streaming stuff. But I know I want to get back into like actually drawing live streaming. That's been pretty fun, and I need to do that to kind of pull new eyeballs into what I'm working on too. So I'll plan on that.
I really wish I was better about posting about your stuff online, because I kind of like I step back from doing that kind of stuff because I'm like, well, what if I post something and then later on I become really famous on this account, and then they go back and they're like, oh, you posted this particular thing about this particular thing way back then, and so I guess I have stupid things about that. But
isn't that just like a 2019 problem? Like people that like now we think that way. It's just so crazy.
It is
true. It's like you kind of just got to not post stuff anymore because it might come back and bite you later. But if you're doing something that's, if you're just putting all your effort into like making that cool thing and making that piece of art that blows people away, or that comic and that story, it's like invest all those ideas and thoughts into that, and then put it out there. And I think that's just so much more powerful than just kind of being a commentator on current events and stuff. But I know people like myself. It helps when people share stuff that I do. So I don't want to tell you not to do that, but I don't do it myself because I'm just kind of like, I don't need to tweet it. I don't need to.
I'm more of a fan art kind of person right now because, and honestly, like I draw fan art about things that literally no one cares about, even the stuff that everyone knows about, like Legend of Zelda and Mario and like all the kind of like brand name things. I go to the very least liked characters, not like villain characters, just like characters that people would overlook and draw fan art of them, and go into all the what are the words? AUs. I call them AUs for some reason, like alternate realities with them and stuff like that. That no one ever cares about. So I draw a lot of fan cares about, but I enjoy it, so that's probably what matters.
It's called fan art,
and I don't post on Instagram very often. Yeah, like I'm a fan of interested.
You know who I bet would be really happy about that type of fan art would be the creators of those characters. They're like, oh yeah, I created this character and I put so much work into it, but if you're only going to be in this game for a couple minutes, and then they'd probably be stoked running across your stuff.
Like,
they noticed. They noticed my design.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Anyway.
Well, good. Is there a place where you have a handle on Instagram? You said you don't post much on Instagram.
I do have a handle on Instagram. I never go on it because I'd like to delete a bunch of stuff on it because it has like really embarrassing art on it right now that I had when I was, okay, so this is a little embarrassing, but there's only 6 people on here, so I don't really care too much. When I was 21, not when I was in middle school, when you're supposed to do those kind of things. When I was about 21, I made a VeggieTales alternate reality fanfic. And I drew pictures for it and made an entire video.
Oh, wow.
And the pictures and the links to the video are still up on my Instagram. So I've just been meaning to get it off, but I haven't taken it off yet.
So Cece.
So I'm like, if anyone ever...
If I make this video public on my YouTube channel, are you gonna be afraid?
No, probably not, because by then I will probably this is shocked me into
because I was planning.
This isn't the name that I have on here isn't the name that I use on my YouTube channel. So they would have to go through a bunch of stuff to. They probably have to hack into the stream stuff.
All right. Well,
and be like, oh my gosh.
Searching for VeggieTales fan fiction YouTube video. That's how
I'm gonna go look right now.
It's about Junior going to prom with one of my OCs. It's terrible. Anyway. Oh gosh.
I have some really stupid art.
She was a tree and he's a vegetable and it's a forbidden love. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that.
Good stuff.
I'm glad you guys are all laughing at this. Because it's kind of funny. It's just and also the art that I made for it, it was a video that I made art for and I talked over.
I want to read it.
The art was not very good.
I want to see it now.
Yeah,
but I mean, you gotta see the stuff. I mean, look at the cartoons that's on right now. It's really you watch it, and it's just like, what the hell is this? And then you think it's silly and stuff, but these kids love it. So you might turn around and you may think it's silly, but 10,000 kids sure look at it and be like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And now you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So you just never know. You just never know.
Like, and then like Big Idea Productions and Netflix takes hold of it and it's like, you know what? I think we have a place to make a movie about it.
Exactly. You never know.
Comes out, Revenge Tell crossover fan fiction.
You hear all the time about these artists and these singers and all these people, and their most famous thing is the thing they hate the most.
Oh yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
Like you see these singers, they're like, "Oh, I
That's
hate singing that
actually a thing
song,"
with
but
the
it's their number
Nutcracker.
one.
Tchaikovsky hated it.
Oh really?
And it's played every Christmas.
Tchaikovsky hated the Nutcracker. He was like, "This is a piece of crap. No one's gonna like this," and it's the same thing. In the Christmas season.
Yeah, look at you, Jason. Look at with Phobos. You were like, "Oh, it's just for me. It's just something silly I did in high school." Ha ha ha. Now everybody's like, "When the hell's the next chapter coming out?
Come on, idiot, get it done.
Idiot, what are you doing? Get it done." Because it's hilarious. It
makes
funny.
It makes me feel good that people want it. It's just it was so different than my other books that I was like, well, I'm going out of my genre, but I'm just like, now I just need to do it, And I've gotten enough pages done on it that I'm like, it'd be ridiculous for me to stop now. So
absolutely, you might as well put it out there and see what catches. And my story's 30 years old, if not more. And it's like I told you this before, Jason, and it's something I just finally said enough is enough. Let me just get this done. And if this one don't take off, I got another one. I got stories galore. So it doesn't matter. I'm doing this for not only me, but like my niece loves drawing and comics, and she's just like, when are you putting that book out? And I'm like, oh, okay, like, okay, we're good. So I can't wait to see everybody's stuff. And if everybody has stuff out already, please just email me. Jason knows I'll buy it all. I don't care. I love seeing people's independent work, whether it's good or bad in my eyes. I don't care because it's like I support. And it doesn't matter because you know what? You'll do a book that, hey man, I may not be in my wheelhouse and I didn't like it, but then you'll do something else. I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? This is terrible. I'm like, oh, you must be insane. So you just never know. You just never know.
Well, I'm glad your niece likes your book because I wrote a book that I finished as best I could. I was so proud of it. It took me like more years to make, and it was my cousin and my cousins, and they hated it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I made it just for you, but I guess we're never gonna see what happens to these two characters.
It's okay, they didn't like it. They didn't like it, but you have an entire world that you could connect to that next thing you know. I tell people all the time, I'm based in Brooklyn, New York, and not one person in Brooklyn could buy my book, but there's a billion people in China that next thing I know, we love your book and this. And don't get me wrong, if nobody likes this book that I'm creating, I'm gonna go in a corner and cry somewhere. And then I'm gonna cry for about an hour, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go do the other book.
Yeah. And you know what's funny about Phobos is my mom is just like, I don't get it.
show her the numbers. Be like, oh look, people love this book, and she could be like, I still don't get it.
Yeah,
it was like my grandma for like seasons or something. She was like, I don't know, it's kind of boring. It's like just give it a 5-star, on Amazon.
Nice, honey.
On your grandma, give it a 5-star.
And her gave it a 4-star.
Oh my God!
Because she said it was kind of boring.
Did she type and say it was boring? Like, did she put a comment?
If you go to seasons, if you go to you see. I think she did a review. She said the writing wasn't that good, but the art was great. And I know, Grandma, just anyways. But
oh my God! Oh my God!
That was
yo.
the only other thing that
Thanks, Grandma. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's crazy.
No, it's like
listen, family's the worst. My wife sees me doing this stuff, and I'll show her the pages, and I'm all excited. I'm turned because I use Clip Studio, and by the way, they just updated the. I don't know if you guys are using it, but they updated the interface. It's dope. It's almost like Photoshop now. So yeah, so the interface is amazing. It looks great. But so I use it, and then there's a 3D binding part of it that actually can show you the pages that you're working on when you're flipping through it. So I'm showing my wife, I'm like, hey, look, baby, look, it's amazing. She's just looking at it, and mind you, it has no words still, and she's like, oh, that's nice, honey. And then she goes, my business. and I'm all set, and I'm still excited to sit here, and I'm like, I'm just by myself. I'm just like, no. Yeah. And I drag my son. I'm like, look. He's like, hey, Daddy, that's nice.
It's like the meme like, hey. Atlan Cool, and then your mom.
My mom just kids. I got a job.
Where it's like, at least my mom thinks I'm. Your mom's just like, oh, I actually don't. I pull it off.
My mom is like, you still doing that? I was like, yeah. She said, but you still have your 9 to 5, right? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do whatever you want.
Keep going, baby. Keep going.
My wife's very she's very encouraging. Whenever I show her a new page, she goes, "Oh, cool." And then as she's looking at it, then she'll point out like, "Why is there so much space here?" or something like that. Like, why is there, why is the and then it's helpful, right? It's helpful.
Right.
I'm like, I just want you to say. It's great, It's
yeah. I just need positive. I just need positive reinforcement, and then you can go.
But overall, she's been really good about encouraging. So,
no, my wife has been the same. She definitely been the same on everything that I'm doing. It's because I'm 46 years old, and for me to start this at this age is just like people think I'm nuts. They're like, dude, you should have started this in your 20s. And I'm like, I kind of did. I wrote the story and I just left it, But now it's like I told Jason, I have a big poster that I did of the thing to remind me every day to keep going and keep working on it. Even the tablet I have here was donated to me by a friend of mine. And it's a $600 thing. And he was just like, here. And he said, keep going, man. He said, because one of us got to get rich. I was like, he said, I'm just going to live off of you for the rest of my life.
In there.
I'm sorry?
Is your poster a little cat that says hang in there and it's like hanging on?
I was wondering the same.
I don't know. That's what I always do.
No. I have a huge poster of my hold on. Let me see if I can show you guys. It's that's the poster I have on my wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
That's constantly
Nice.
hanging on my wall. And I signed it, and the colorist signed it, my boy Tom Velez. He's a phenomenal artist, and I definitely want him to do his book. So it's a constant motivation. It's a constant battle with yourself, And I know Jason knows, especially from going from what you did, is inspiring. Like you went like DreamWorks is that's DreamWorks, and for you to say bye and just do what you need to do and create your own, it's amazing. And I want to get to that point where I can just tell my job later and just keep doing this full time, And if I fall on my face, I just get back up and do it again.
Yeah. And it never ends, You finish a book and you have have the same struggles or just different struggles, but you're always going to have struggles with the next thing,
Oh yeah, definitely. You're always gonna have struggles. Yeah, you're always gonna have struggles. You're always gonna have problems. But the stories just keep coming to me. Like I don't know about everybody else, but they just keep coming. Like I'm working on a story right now with my nephew. He came to me with an idea, and like 2 days, like a day later, I'm hitting him with like ideas, and he's like, "Yo, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Shut up, just take it." And he's like, "When are you gonna do this?" I'm like, "As soon as we finish this first book, we'll start working on this one." So right now, and I got people that are willing to help me, and I have a team behind me that's coming along, and everybody's like, "Yo, when you do it, then we'll try to." So my dream is to actually create an entertainment company, really, and where I'm able to the comics are done on this floor and the animation is done on that floor, and you know, and just I'm able to just bounce around between the two. But it all starts with this book first. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jason, it's like you reminded me of something. So this was because, well, I don't know how much like you want me to say about this other project that you mentioned. You texted me about, but I was going to say that
it's only 6 of us in here. You could tell them,
right? Yeah. Until it goes live. But
don't say too much.
Right. No, I want to do it. So it's like when you approached me about this, so like it was a really great moment for me because I was like, okay, so at the time, even like it was like a month or so before that, I'm relearning how to draw, okay, in a way. So like because I'm trying to step away from the style that I have right now. So I'm trying to do a lesser detailed, quicker kind of way because you were talking to that duo. I forgot who they were, but you were mentioning about how you showed your detailed comic book and everybody like loved it. Like this really, you had detailed backgrounds and detail. Yeah. It was realistic. And you're like, yeah, if I drew that way, it would take me like a year to finish one issue or something like that. Yeah. And so I'm trying to draw really fast. Like I'm trying to draw really detailed, really fast, like Sean Gordon Murphy or something like that. Like draw really. So that's the way I draw. And I'm really used to that. I'm trying to make it really dynamic and really whatever. But so when we were texting about that, doing this project or whatnot, I had to reevaluate, like, again, like every single time I was drawing like a new character, a new concept, it was getting super detailed and overwhelming. Right. And it was reminding me again, like how I was like, how am I going to get these comic books or these stories done? Or how am I going to do anything on my own? Or how am I going to, because I already have seasons. Seasons is like, I have to do it this way no matter what. Like it's got to be like this. Yeah, I have to get out of it. But any new project that I have now, I can go into a more cartoony, more less realistic type of direction. It's almost like the Studio Trigger type of stuff, you know, what they have with Gurren Lagann or like Witch, you know, what is it, the Witch Academy or something like that. And so anyway, so now I'm learning how to draw again. Like I'm learning this whole new thing. So like that's why things are a little slow right now with other concept art or something like that, because I'm trying not to copy or like, you know, just take from something, but try to come up with my own easier style or something like that. Yeah. I don't know how much longer you're going to stay on here. I just got to put you on mute for like maybe a minute or two.
Well, I'm going to have to wrap it up soon. I have believe it or not, a barbecue to go to. It's at night.
Okay. Barbecue. What temperature is it out there?
It's like, 12. No, or something.
Yeah, it's really nice today up in New York. 52.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I got to go. So later.
All right,
brother. Take care.
Yeah, it's a themed barbecue for some kind of like little party for some little girls, and so it's a Frozen theme. So we're bringing our kids, and it snowed today, so it just works.
I gotta come up with something like Frozen. I swear. Oh my God! I gotta come up with something that appeals to a million children at one time. Yeah. This is insane. Like I look at this stuff and I'm just like I've never sat down and watched.
Didn't really like, but the people did. So.
It's crazy to me. Like like my son is into like right now he's like his Spider-Man is Miles Morales. Like he knows nothing of Peter. He's like, that is not Spider-Man. And I'm like, yes it is. So that's his Spider-Man. So Into the Spider-Verse, and his whole room is decked out Spider-Man. Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, I need a Spider-Man. I need something. Like this is insane. Like But yeah, I mean, definitely, like everybody just keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. Jason, I need more copies of this. Are they gonna put this in the graphic novel form when you're finished?
Yeah. So this is the first time I've said it online, but end of February, we're planning on launching a Kickstarter for it. So it won't be done by me. It'll be done by Cave Pictures, but I'm consulting, and I'm obviously going to be marketing and pushing it to all my people. It'll be a hardcover book. So the full.
It's a really good story. It's really, you know, straightforward, and it's, you know, and it's definitely your style. And I was like, but it's different though. It's got like little nuances here and there that you changed up for the story. And it, like I said, it was just great walking into the store, and it was like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And
with the artists.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not gonna be paying to have lunch with you. I'm just gonna fly myself out, and I'm just gonna show up to you here, like I'm like, what's up, dude? I'll pay for lunch, but I'm not.
We'll hang out.
Absolutely. I have to hang out with you. Yeah, like I said, you're very inspiring, like, and you're very easy to talk to. Like a lot of these artists, like I go to these cons and stuff, and I'm like, my dude, chill. You're not that popular. Like your ego is way out of control. Like ease up. Exactly. You have nobody on this line. Like, stop.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, oh, I want $20 for my signature, and you, sir, will now be getting that $20. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing the stuff that you're doing. Just keep going with it. I'm pretty much a student right now, and I'm following like certain things that certain people are doing, including yourself. And you don't even know it, but like you're one of my you're the top of my mentor list, because I follow what you're doing, and I'm watching the moves that you're making to get these books published, and it's just like, wow, like this dude is just really doing it. So I'm with it. I'm so with it.
Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go, guys. So thank you.
Enjoy your barbecue.
Yeah. It was so nice to be on here. I'm so flattered. I'm going to tell everyone in my Discord later about this.
Yeah. Hannah, before you go, Instagram, where can I get in contact to see your stuff?
Instagram is Studio Hana Art. I'll put it into the chat too, just so
okay, cool. Because Zach put his. I still got to buy Seasons. I think he has a couple of volumes. I gotta go on Amazon and pick that up. I completely forgot about that. And if anybody else got stuff, I'd love to see it. Oh, there we go. Bang. All right, cool. Yeah, mine's is up there too. So if anybody else got stuff, I definitely.
Yeah, I followed you back when you put it on, so you could probably just go look at your new followers list, and I'll be there.
Wow, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you.
I'll put up my Instagram next time.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year too. I won't see you.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.